Hi there, this is your friend Anna, and the question that I've been getting the most from all of my friends is what are we wearing? This age-old question isn't just about choosing an outfit, it's about choosing how we present ourselves to the world. I created the I Want Her Shoes podcast to dive deep into what it means to dress with intention, whether you're heading to a council meeting or just having a casual day out with your family. Join the conversation as we explore the power of personal style and the decisions that shape our public personas. Put on your favorite pair of shoes and step into my closet. Welcome back to the I Want Her Shoes podcast, where we sit down with powerhouse women redefining success on their own terms, one bold step at a time. I'm your host, Anna Anisin, and today's guest is the kind of woman who doesn't just break glass ceilings, she builds the boardroom beyond them. Please welcome Angela Solk, Managing Director at Alvarez Marsal, brand builder, growth strategist, startup whisperer, and global media powerhouse. With over 20 years of experience launching billion-dollar brands, that's amazing, scaling platforms and driving revenue across media, tech, fashion, and consumer goods. That's such a broad variety. Angela has led teams for everyone from P&G and Calvin Klein to Spotify and Nokia even. That's like
dating ourselves. But,
but that was a cool brand. Do you remember?
It was the number 4 brand in the world.
It was. That was my first phone. So
I think it was everybody, like our generation.
Yes, everybody
had a brick.
Yeah, you did not have. Well, yeah, exactly. iPhone did not exist yet.
Nope.
Yep. So, and while her resume is serious business, her mission is deeply personal: grow business, empower women, and lead with both data and heart, which is amazing. And today we're getting into how to scale with integrity in today's media landscape, what makes a team high performing and also happy, which is probably more important, right?
Especially now.
Yes, and why operational efficiency is the real flex, and how she stays stylish while navigating boardrooms, markets, and mentorships. Thank you so much for being here, Angela.
Thank you for having me. I've been listening.
I know you're looking at that. I know you're like literally can't stop.
I'm literally like a kid in a candy store right now. Like I do, and I have OCD, so I love that everything is organized by color because I have done that in my own closet as well.
Because it helps just make everything more efficient and faster, right?
It does. So. And also it just looks pretty and it makes you feel good when things are structured and organized.
Yes, I just get like a little adrenaline boost when I come in here. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's strategic. So if I have a bad day, I'm like, I'm just going to go in there for just like 3 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, everything's so great.
I know.
Like,
you can look at your favorite pair of shoes or a color.
You can put them on.
And just go, okay, or you just my moment.
Exactly.
Yeah, love it.
Well, Angela, tell me a little bit about your roots. And I know I met you here, but I know that you're going back and forth between New York. Where did you grow up? Where's your family from? Where are the roots? Who's Angela?
I know, an immigrant. My family are all British.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, growing up, my grandparents used to call me the heathen American because I spoke with the American accent, not the British accent.
You're the first non-British accent.
I was, yes, exactly, which was, now I really wish that I would have maintained the accent, but when I was a little kid, I used to come home from school crying that the kids made fun of me, that I spoke funny. And granted, this is 40 years ago, right? Like this country has diversified so much. So I worked so hard to not have an accent, but it always freaks people out when they meet my parents. So first of all, my mother is blonde and fair and with a British accent. So
they're like, wait, are you like related?
Correct, exactly. So yeah, my mom is from Northern England. My father is from London, and I feel as connected to the UK as I do the US. And
that's awesome.
For many, many years while my grandparents were still alive, every 4 to 6 weeks I was in England.
Wow, that is so beautiful.
I was dedicated to
that's not that far though from the East Coast, right?
I was also lucky enough global jobs that allowed me to be there, so I would just go and see my grandparents all the time.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And how did you end up in Miami?
Oh God, right, Miami. So I was traveling a ton for work, and as anybody who lives in New York knows, New York is not the place you go to relax.
No, and not.
Right? And so one day I decided I was going to rent a furnished apartment in Miami because I had a ton of friends that were starting to come down south and like, come, it's a better lifestyle. So I rented an apartment down here to see if I liked it. And that was just over 10 years ago. And
Here we are.
Still here.
And
my husband, I met him pretty much as soon as I moved down
That's
here.
awesome. How did you meet him?
Gay besties set me up on Tinder and swiped on him.
I love that. Cheers to them.
Cheers to them. They're not together anymore, but we are.
Yes. Hey, I met mine on Bumble. So I think, again, this was almost 9 years ago. I think it's different now a little bit.
It is. But I say all the time, I'm a Tinder success story, and he's the only person I ever dated off the app.
Hey, you just need that one guy.
You totally do.
So, hey, if you think it's too late, go. It's never too late or too early. Exactly.
And you know what? You should always ask friends to help you to
push
create,
you forward. Oh my God, I did that with my friend Rebecca, and she met her husband on there as well because I made her make a profile. Yes.
Yes, they view you better than you view yourself.
Yes.
That's why writing a resume is so hard.
Yeah.
And talking about myself is so hard, but yet I can do it for other people so easily. So anyway.
Well, you've led teams that have launched billion-dollar brands across P&G, tech, streaming. What's been your proudest I did that moment so far? I mean, I'm sure there's many of them, maybe the top 3 or something. I know it's probably not going to be one.
So it was really interesting when you sent the questions. I really struggled with this question. And I think part of the real struggle with the question was that I never think about my career like that or those moments of things. But I think I'm going to answer the question slightly differently because I don't have one aha moment. What I have is a totally non-linear career path that every time I made a pivot, I said, wow, I set my mind out, I said I was going to do it, and then I did it. And so for me, it's not one moment, it's all those moments where somebody says to you, well, you don't have that experience, you can't do that, and you prove them wrong.
Exactly. And I love that. That is such an amazing, badass answer. I love that, Angela. And you often speak about finding white space for growth. Can you explain what that means and how women, founders, or marketers can learn to spot that?
So, it's, you get a lot of people that always say to you, what's your superpower on things? And one of the things that I have been really great at is being able to see pieces of things that others can't put together and figure out how they can be put together or why they should be put together.
That's so cool.
And what's interesting is I wanted to be a sociology major originally.
Well, I could see that though with what you're saying. Because that's literally what kind of that is.
Yeah,
right?
But my parents were we're not paying for a sociology degree. What are you going to do with that? But ultimately, sociology is the study of people and behaviors. And I'm always obsessed with people and behavior and data that shows what they do. And so examples of things like that are my very first job out of college working for Klein Cosmetics, of which, by the way, it was a permanent 4-day work week, and I thought that was the norm. I've since learned
that they had that.
I know.
Awesome.
I know. I've also since learned that is so not the case, and I probably should have appreciated that more. But it's things like listening to a woman in a focus group, and for those of you that don't know what focus groups are, it's you eat M&Ms behind a mirror and you listen to consumers.
R&D stuff.
Yes, exactly, right? And I'll listen to a woman saying, I spray my boyfriend's cologne on my clothes, so when I'm not with him, I smell like him. And me saying to the head of marketing, why don't we create a unisex fragrance that actually allows that? $1 billion brand of CK1. And then CKB.
Amazing.
So it's weird things like that sometimes people would gloss over, that I just think about it differently and then think about
outside of the box, basically.
Is that something that is going to meet a consumer need and something that can scale and that you can make a boatload of money off of?
Love that. That's another superpower that you. That is such a.
But that's how I think about white space,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like I say all the time, I absolutely.
Do you think there's still white space left?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Even with AI and everything.
Oh, well, I think the issue with AI, as somebody who uses it every day in their life, but the thing is, AI is only as good as what you're putting into the model, and the data's right.
Yeah.
And sometimes also, I think AI starts to generate a lot of more of a group think than an individual think.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so if that's the case, then how are you going to get to white space with AI? I don't know that you are. Or not, right? So I think it's what AI is taking what a human can think of and then helping to evolve it. But I don't know that AI is going to give us the kind of innovation that we have seen over the last 20 years. I don't know. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, and I do think eventually we'll get there. But I do.
It'll take a while. I think it's more about efficiency in the beginning.
Exactly.
Really, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's how I think about it.
Yeah, agreed. And you've been on all sides of the media business, agency, platform, brand, sales, and strategy, which is amazing.
Yeah.
What's something you know now that you wish you knew like early in your career? Is there anything, or is it kind of just like you have to learn it with experience? Because I feel like for me, like I wouldn't have. Like I kind of had to be on all parts of my career to get to where I am because that was part of my like learning experience, and growth.
So, I totally agree with you that you have to kind of go through the motions and learn it. But I think there's things that if I was growing up through my career now, there's things that I would do differently, but not because I could have done it differently when you and I came up through our careers, because the things like you didn't have like things like Chief and Girls Inc. and all of these other like women's movement groups, and you didn't have that kind of support and enablement that so many of us have now
literally
nothing.
You had to go and like talk to people and like
right, and the majority
just ask them to be like to help you, and a lot of people said no. I mean, do you know how many no's I got from women? Actually, men were much more helpful.
I agree with you.
Wholeheartedly. And it's sad, but that was the case. I think now it's definitely different. But before it was really tough.
So what I would say is that the two things that I think about now is that nobody can chart your career for you. Mm-hmm. And if you don't ask, you don't get. And a lot of times I used to think that my work would speak for itself and then that would yield the recognition or the promotion. And I realized,
wait a second.
Harder.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just working harder. And ultimately, by the way, you're like, well, wait, why did that person get that promotion and not me? And it's like, well, they asked for it. So those are the things that I say now is always be comfortable asking, because the worst that happens is the answer is no.
No, exactly.
And also, realize that you are the one that controls your career. And if you think that it's a boss or HR or a mentor, it's not.
That's a great advice and a great answer. For sure, it's true. And you've worked in emerging and established markets. What are some global nuances women in business need to know when building brands beyond borders? Because I feel like that's something that not many people talk about.
It is so different to work in different markets. It really is.
Is it worth it too?
For me, I think it changed exactly who I am and gave me perspectives that you just don't like when you're in like sub-Saharan Africa and you're launching feminine products, right? For the first time, and you've always had these, right? Mm-hmm. It really grounds you.
Well, not always. In Russia, they came. Well, they weren't there always. I remember they came in like the late 80s or something like that. Yeah.
Yes. So you understand a little bit more than somebody who probably came up through America.
You always kind of, you never were without a tampon.
Exactly, right? But like to be able to see, because I think what happens is that people just take brands and things for granted. So to be able to see the benefit of what you're bringing to a market is so unbelievably humbling and rewarding at the same time. It makes you think twice about what you have, and it gives you a level of gratitude. It humbles you because something that you also take for granted, you realize is such a huge asset and a gift almost to somebody else.
Right.
And I just think it makes you a citizen of the world. It makes you a better person. It gives you different vantage points to look at things. And you just think really differently about the opportunities that you get.
Yeah.
And so I don't take for granted that I've been to 103 countries and
Oh my God,
launched
that's
brands
amazing.
all
That
over
is
the
so
world.
cool.
And I've done it basically on companies' dimes.
Yeah. So you have, yeah. That is such a great story. I love that.
This is my first job right now, US based only.
Wow.
Every other job I've had has been a global job.
But that's such an amazing journey, though.
It has been. It
So
has
cool.
been. Yes. Yeah.
And you're a mentor with Until They're 9 and a chair of Girls Inc. Miami. Why is mentorship so essential to you? And what's one piece of advice that you could share about people that are looking for mentors or want to be mentors?
Yeah. So it's important to me because, and I think we touched on it really quickly, that like we got a lot of no's. And we also didn't get a lot of help or tools.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? So if you're not getting those when you come up through your career, yet you craved them, then you have to be the person who goes and creates them for others.
1000%.
Right?
Yep.
So I feel like I've done a lot of creating it for others. And so that's why things like Until There Are 9, which to me is even more important
Tell us a little
now.
bit about that organization.
So Until There Are 9 is an organization that is literally until there are 9 females sitting on the Supreme Court. This
I love
organization
that. I love that.
will be, but it's about helping women through their career, helping you to understand what you should be negotiating, what kind of salary you should be thinking about, what kind of job opportunities. So it's more for people that have been in your career for a little while and really need to understand how to get to that next step or what to ask for. And I've met some amazing women through this, such that I like they're my friends now as well.
That. Yeah.
But it's not only women that do that, right? Because I do think also that anything that is 100% exclusionary.
Yeah, we need both. We need we need
You
diversity. That's what it is, right?
You need diversity, and you
and
also
thinking
need
and
friends.
algorithms.
Like,
yeah,
you need allies.
Yes, everywhere. Yeah, because again,
Yeah.
I think for both of us, when we first started our careers, your allies were men.
Yeah,
Because there just weren't enough women there, and the ones that were, they fought so hard for their space that they thought like we're gonna take them.
correct.
Right? Like so,
they saw you more as a threat than an ally.
Yeah.
Right back in the day. So that's why when a couple of former coworkers asked me about, being a mentor, I was like, absolutely, I'll happily volunteer my time. And then with Girls Inc., it was slightly different, actually. I met the founder, who is
she's so wonderful.
She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. She's a powerhouse. And when I met her, my company does, we call it SLC, Support Local Change. So we do pro bono projects.
Cool, amazing.
So I
that
worked
kind of
on
fits
this.
like perfectly.
Yeah. So I worked on this pro bono project for her. And at the end, she was like, would you consider joining? So I said, I would love to. And so I actually became the chair of the chairman of the board. And at first I was a co-chair with the most amazing woman who then was like, I have so much on my plate. I feel good. You got Angela now, so you guys can run with it. So I'm on my second term of that. And it's, a couple of weeks ago, I went and we have a project right now with big brand that is all about helping high school girls to think about opportunities.
Love that.
And so I spoke a couple of weeks ago and I said to them, listen, feel free to link in with me, ask me anything you want. And suddenly I had a very long list of links ins and questions. And so I've been making my way through that. So for me, my parents were immigrants. They didn't have tools when they came to this country. I kind of feel like I had to find my own way. Not that because they weren't supportive, but it just was different. The path I chose was not necessarily the path they knew. And so because of that, because I didn't have the tools, because I didn't have the network, I want to ensure that they have it. So that's why I do the Girls Inc., which is younger, and then I do the Until There Are 9 as well.
That's beautiful.
Which is,
and thank you so much for doing
stuff.
all of that. And
I love it.
Putting your time towards women and the future and just people that want to make a difference, right? And be better people.
And one of the things that you won't have on my LinkedIn or resume is I'm also working on a startup right now.
Cool. Well, tell us a little bit about this.
And so I'm a former athlete. I was a soccer player.
Cool. That's so cool.
Yeah. I know. I wish I could still do it now.
Well, athletes make great founders.
Hands down.
So I hear that all actually have heard it over and over again on the podcast.
Because it's
outside.
because you have a discipline and a rigor and a team player on all things, that, right? Yeah. And the thing about when you play sports at a competitive level is what makes you successful is the ability to do the mundane over and over again successfully and not get burned out by doing it, which is a lot of like a skill set that you have to translate to business. So right now I'm working on a startup. It's called SYI, Sports Youth and Innovation.
Cool.
And it is, we're in an MVP product out of India. And the goal is to create a global platform that democratizes how youth that play sports can actually find paths in sports or find other opportunities in sports to make them the best person they can be both on and off the field.
Well, that's an amazing mission. It goes back to all the things that you talked about. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to be great. So when is it kind of open now, or are you still kind of building it up? Is it ready to be shared? Are you
We're
looking
building
for
it up, and we are in the hardest process as another founder and startup person. We're in the hardest process right now, which is the fundraising.
Yeah, well, let us know. We're happy to share this. So, that sounds like an amazing mission behind this.
Yeah,
so congratulations.
It is.
That's awesome.
It also makes it easier when you have passion for what you're doing.
Yes, I know all about that.
Right?
So.
As we sit in this amazing closet of what you're doing, I'm like, yes.
It really makes things easier and like it comes out, and I think that's when people really like see, it's and like you want to give back, right? Like and do and make a change. And,
totally. And the other thing is, and that's when it doesn't feel like work anymore.
Yeah. Then it just feels like you can do it forever. Yeah, exactly.
To do it. Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about leadership. How did you create environments where teams feel both stretched and also supported, which is, it's like it's a hard one, especially.
It is a hard one. I agree with you on that. I don't know about you through your career, but I've learned more from the bad leaders that I worked for than the good leaders that I've worked for. And that's not to insult the people that have been great leaders, but it's more to learn exactly what you don't what you don't
I can see that, for sure, now that I think about that.
And especially somebody who's always obsessed with observing behaviors.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so sociology. Major.
Right? I know. What I wanted.
Wannabe, yeah.
I know. Marketing and consumer studies.
But you learned everything already. I mean, you probably learned so much from what you would have learned by your experience, and
Absolutely.
Actually the R&D is so much, that's how you learn about people.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. So my learning came more from observing the things that I never wanted to be and the type of behaviors I never wanted to emulate. And also realizing that understanding people as humans and how important it is to understand who they are at work and who they are out of work. And that doesn't mean I need to be a part of your life. I don't mean that at all. But understanding, are you a new mom? Do you have an elderly parent? Like the person that cares enough to show compassion, to enable people to be able to be their best both in the office and outside of the office is something that I've always prided myself on. And I think it's why so many people that have worked for me through the years kind of have, number one, get in touch with me or have followed me. And I'm always so shocked. And COVID was one of those times, believe it or not, where people I hadn't spoken to in 10, 15 years reached out and were like, hi, I want to tell you what's going on in my life. And for me, it's heartwarming. And I also think that what also, and this has been a very conscious choice for me, and probably why it took me so long to come on is I've never wanted to be the one in the spotlight. I've always wanted to be the one behind the scenes, enabling the people that work for me to be in the spotlight. I've never needed my recognition didn't need to necessarily come from others as much as it came from seeing those that I have enabled to be successful and have what they needed.
That's so beautiful, but you also deserve the spotlight, Angela. So I'm really glad to have you on here because you've given so many others opportunities. So you deserve to talk about your startup and and just share the amazing journey that you had. I had no idea you played soccer. That's so cool. And that you were actually British.
I have weird food habits that would show it.
Well, now let's talk about your personal style because it's really part executive edge, part modern polish, and I noticed that when I first met you. What role does fashion play in how you show up as a leader?
Yeah. So it's an ongoing joke now at this point. What shoes is Angela going to show up in? And
love it. That's how we connected to you.
It is totally. I know. I mean, I love their bags too, but bags have never really been my thing. Like, if I love it, I'll spend the money on it.
Me too. But I'll spend more on the
I never ask on shoes. I'm just like, yes, I love it. I'm in. Away we go. So pre-COVID, I was a total heels girl.
I know. I remember you saying that.
I mean, when you asked me to bring some shoes, I so wanted to bring. I have a pair of original Alexander McQueen's that he designed that I'm going to put into a shadow box, but they're in storage right now. And at one point, I wore them because he was alive. But then when he passed away, unfortunately, very sad. I savored those. And now I see them and I'm just like, oh my God, those are the best shoes ever. But COVID came and then I was like, I can't. The thought of going back into heels, I couldn't. And then obviously I had the foot issue and surgery. So now I have the most insane sneaker collection.
I can't wait to see.
And so when you said bring some, my husband was like, what are you doing? Why are you packing up all your shoes? I'm like, because I can't decide because seeing the plethora of them are kind of gives you a little bit. But my actual fashion sense is quite boring. I'm very just standard. Like I'm a New Yorker. I'm black. I like a lot of black. But my shoes will always have the bling.
I love that. Hey, I think another shoe girl, I respect that. I think that's completely fine and amazing. And you've worked with some of the most iconic brands, but what's one brand that truly changed you as a professional? If there's one that stands out, I know Calvin Klein is very important in your
it was career. My first one, right? So that, but it's only now when you look back that you really appreciate what that opportunity did, right. Because when you're in the moment, you don't really see it or understand it. I would have to say that P&G, working on P&G for 10 years of my life, it globally allowed me to see the world. It allowed me to create new products and redefine categories like white strips, like Swiffer, like
That's
Febreze,
so cool.
Right? So your television was going to share the same lines with, your mobile phone, and your house was going to have one connection in, and everybody was like, really? And so here we are. So I feel like I was ahead of my time, but I truly believed in that. I think there was a couple of times that I've had
and now
these
they want to go back to the landline. Because they think it's like kind of like
retro.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So there's been multiple times throughout my career that that what I've got to work on and launch and be a part of have been instrumental in defining who I am.
That's amazing. That's a great answer. And again, I love your journey. It's so cool.
Non-linear, to say the least.
And those are the best ones, aren't they?
They are the best ones, but I also think they're harder on some level. Yes, much harder.
Yeah. I feel like harder, but more rewarding. For sure.
Totally, because you're always proving to yourself that you can do that pivot.
Yes.
And proving people wrong that are like, oh, no.
You can't.
I know. Exactly. Yeah.
How are you going to monetize that podcast? And what's something people misunderstand about women in executive leadership roles? Because I feel like there's a lot of like kind of stigma around this. Like, should you be tough or
I know,
should
right?
you? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I do. So it's a really good, but it's also a hard question. So people tell me that I'm slightly misunderstood, because I don't come across as the friendliest at first. But when you know me, I'm super outgoing and I'm comfortable. And that's because I'm not really an extrovert. I'm really an introvert that comes out when she's comfortable. So people have always told me like that you're standoffish, or you come across as like I can be like non-friendly or bitchy, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then they get to know me and they're like, you're the exact opposite, and you're like one of the first phone calls I would make. And I'm like, I don't know how to change that. So what I would say is, I don't think there's one thing. I think it's about staying true to yourself and being authentic, and then being able, and defend is not necessarily the right word, but being able to stand by who you are, and learn to be comfortable in your own skin.
Exactly.
Because if you get to that point, regardless of how you do it, you're going to be a leader that is going to inspire others. So that's why I don't think there's one path.
Yeah. No, a great answer, and I agree with you. Yeah. 1,000%. And you're known for bringing data, empathy to the table. That's such a super, you're like a unicorn, Angela. How do you balance left brain logic with right brain creativity when solving like really big challenges, especially at like big organizations that you've worked in? Well, and like different countries all over the globe.
Yeah. Well, I think I do that a lot now that I'm in management consulting, because management consulting is very grounded and very like structured. Like, this is what the client has asked for, and this is what you need to deliver, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'll always say, but can we add an additional slide with all the fun stuff that I thought of in all of this?
Just hide it.
Right? And so I think that you always have to lead with what you're being asked to do. And then you have to be comfortable being able to say, well, you asked for this. However, I've uncovered X, Y, and Z.
So yeah, here are some other options for
exactly.
you.
So I'm always about options. There's never really one answer. I always feel like there's multiple ways, but I think that's the marketing side of me that's now the management consultant.
Hey, it's all marketing. Essentially, it's all about understanding you're the person that you're selling to or you're giving a service for.
Exactly. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, now oh my God, I'm so excited. Let's get these shoes up here and let's take a look at these, and you're going to tell me the stories behind them.
Oh my God. Right? So so the ones that I'm wearing.
Stand over here so we're in the shot. So, just bring them over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but the ones that I'm wearing now, my Swarovski
Alexandra McQueen Swarovski crystal. Yeah.
These were my very first, I'm going to spend the most ridiculous amount of money on a pair of shoes.
Those are just fucking amazing.
Love everything about them, right? So, I know, I feel like, by the way, like some of my shoes,
they would like fit into this collection, right? For sure. Oh my God, another I feel like you have an Alexander McQueen collection.
So you know what's interesting? When I first started buying expensive shoes, they were like Jimmy Choos and Louboutins. And as I've gotten older, I've realized
they're not maybe the most comfortable ones.
No, exactly. I don't love either of those as much as I love some of my other ones. So, like I said, like everything's kind of boring on my clothing side. But then,
these are Gucci, silver Gucci ones. Oh my God, these are so cute. I love these. Oh my gosh.
I mean, to the point where like the women in Gucci Garden in Florence like text me when they have things and say, "Do you need anything?" So
we do need things. We always need things. You can never say you don't need anything.
I know. Exactly.
I mean, that's kind of.
These are my most recent purchase.
Oh, these are also Gucci, and these are like the new collection. Oh my God, so nice. And I like how the logo. They changed the logo into like this kind of.
I know.
This is kind of new. It's never been like this, right? This is a new.
They're new.
Yeah, yeah.
They're new.
Another McQueen. Oh
And
my gosh, how
ombre.
many versions? Like, so these are another versions of the one, and the ones Angela is wearing. They're like the stud, but they're
Yeah,
green.
but these are
oh my
ombre
god.
and amazing.
What size are you? Really little. Oh my
35.
God. Yes.
I know.
So you can always find shoes because.
No, it's the hardest
Really?
thing.
Is it?
the
Oh my gosh,
majority-
because do they not make 35s?
Right,
I'm like,
or
these are like
they'll-
so small.
Like for Gucci, they'll like get one into the store and then they have to order
Like,
them
call
for
you
me.
and be like-
yeah, exactly. So when I said I believe that like my shoes need to make a statement,
Oh, there's one more. Is there more? Is that it?
no, those
Okay.
are the only. I
All
only
right,
brought
perfect.
4.
Well, you have 5 because you have the ones you're wearing.
The one that I'm wearing
Yeah.
as well, but I really do believe that your shoes kind of say something about you. So
Yeah. This says how amazing of a unicorn
This-
and creative person that you are, Angela.
This is I like really loud, obnoxious shoes, and and it's like a flair part of it though, right? Like I could never wear a whole out. I would.
Well, no, I mean, nobody could. I mean, but I'm sure there's people that
They're-
do, right?
Yeah,
But
I
it's
don't
like
have
your
that kind
little.
of confidence.
Yeah, this is. But I mean, it's just not you.
No.
You know, you are just the little tiny piece of the outfit that's like this bling. You know what I mean? And I love
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
I mean, you're gonna ask the question: shoes or like heels or sneakers? Well, it's very obvious where my answer is on that right now.
Well, but you wore heels before. So,
I was.
You know.
Oh my God, I have like the 4, 5, 6-inch heels.
And they're all 35, so they're little.
They're all 35. I know. I'm sorry.
Do you
I
ever
know.
put them on? Or like,
I do. And then I walk around in them in my house and go, oh my God, the fact that I used to wear these for 8 to 10 hours a day.
Yeah, I don't.
Because-
Yeah, I mean, I don't wear. I mean, I usually don't wear like anything taller than this for like that long anymore. Because before I could do like really high. But now I don't even.
I mean, I love these OGs.
yes, those are. But these are comfortable though. You can do.
Yes, because the heel
Yes,
isn't
yeah.
ridiculous
No,
on them.
no, and it's
versus
just-
like the Louboutins from back in the day that had the
Or like those.
platform and those. Yeah, I know. I have
Those
them
are
and
not comfortable. They like really like even if you try to stretch them, like everything. They're just so
tried
beautiful.
all of that.
though.
I know. That
That's
was the
the thing.
problem. Is I got lured by the beauty, and then
But then you
realized
like practicality. You're just gonna put them on the shelf. and stuff.
Exactly.
Have you tried his new shoes with like the? Like I heard that they put like some sneaker stuff in there.
And I've heard they're much more comfortable. So we'll
So
see.
we'll see. We're
And
gonna
I do
go
have
try.
sneaks.
Yeah.
I do have a pair of the sneaks, which
What do you
is
think
Sarah
about those? I just
Blakely's.
don't like the design of it.
I don't love the design of it, but I will say if I the thing is they look good with certain things, like never a dress.
No, it's like more of a sporty look.
Right? So
Yeah, like
with
if you're
pair of
doing a startup pitch,
jeans
it's totally
and-
fine.
Exactly. But the funny thing is that like I said, I work for a management consulting firm, and I'm going to deviate for a second, but you'll appreciate the story. So the day before I'm starting the job, I get a phone call from them saying, hey, we're going to take your headshots tomorrow. We need you to be in a nice conservative suit, and I call my husband. I'm in New York already. I'm in the apartment in New York, and I don't have any of that. Call my husband. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I have to go buy something because I don't have anything to go take headshots with. So I go to Zodig, right? And from the front, it's a very conservative, nice blazer over a white shirt. We're good to go. So they take the headshots. We're good to go. And I start to walk away. And the back of it is the crystal skull. All down the back of it.
I love it. Yes.
And so he's like, whoa, wait a second. He goes, what is that? I go, this is who you asked me to be. And then I turned around and I said, but this is who I am. And he was like, I love that. And thank you for loving that as well. And so, I've been there now for just over 2 years. And I feel like I have single-handedly changed the culture of what people wear to the office.
Good for you. Congratulations.
And somebody
That's
said to me, they were like, you're going in to meet with the CEO in sneakers? I go, absolutely.
Yes.
I said, why should I change who I am?
Yeah, you should not.
And when I walked in, he was like the kicks. And I was like, see? We've now had a conversation, and he's going to remember I'm the person that walked in with flashy kicks.
Yes. So take a note of that, ladies.
Right?
Do something different.
Do something different and be true to yourself.
Yeah, maybe it's sneakers, lipstick, whatever, nail polish.
Yeah.
Maybe it's even your hair or it's clothing, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a whatever it is, a jacket.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
do it. Don't,
Yeah.
put it on. All right, let's do a quick round of this or that.
Okay.
Data dashboards or whiteboard sprints?
I can't live down the middle, right?
You can say both.
I know. I feel like both, but for very different reasons.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Spotify playlists or NPR podcast?
I'm a music girl through and through.
Love it. Power suit or statement code?
Absolutely a statement.
Yes, of course. Here it is right here. Scaling startups or reshaping Fortune 500s or both?
I know. They provide different rewards. So
1000%.
I'd probably go with scaling startups because it's grittier and you can have your hand in multiple areas versus the Fortune 100 or 50 or whatever it is.
Yep, agreed. Global deal or local impact? Or both. You're doing both.
I know. I think the hardest thing is to be a global brand and be locally relevant. So I would say that they're both equally important.
Love that. Keynote stage or behind the scenes strategy?
Behind the scenes. Yeah. I know. I've done the keynotes. I've done the speaking. I've done it at CES. I've done it at Cannes. I've done it at Mexico. I've done it all over. And it's fine. I don't mind doing it. But I would rather see the folks that have worked for me see that it's almost like the motherly instinct of the female that you're just like, yay.
I love that.
I'm a behind the scenes girl.
Love it. Espresso martini or green juice?
Well, so if you had said dirty martini, I would have said hands down dirty martini.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's your drink?
It is with blue cheese stuffed olives. Oh my God.
Love it.
Yeah, and an extra blue cheese stuffed olives.
Yum, I love blue cheese.
I just don't do any caffeine or coffee drinks. I've made it this far in my life not without caffeine, so why start now?
Hey, good for you, for real. And don't start.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Angela, thank you so much for bringing your wisdom, wit, and wonderful energy to the I Want Her Shoes community. From launching billion-dollar brands to mentoring the next generation, you show us that real power isn't loud. It's strategic, soul food, and unapologetically smart like you. And to everybody listening, whether you're pitching to investors, restructuring your team, or just trying to get through Monday in heels, may this episode remind you your strategy is your style. And you don't have to choose between vision and voice, revenue and realness, growth and grace. You can have everything.
I love that. And this was so much fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mwah. I'm so glad that I finally was in town to do this together.
Yay. All right. Well, now you're going to have to pick a pair of shoes that best represents you.
I know. Well,
and I'm thinking it's going to be like a pair of sneakers. I do have sneakers around down here.
I know.
It can be anything though. It doesn't have to be.
And listen, iconic Jordans are next level, to be honest with you.
Do you have a lot of those as well?
I don't actually. I probably need to start a collection of those.
You should.
However, I am a huge blue girl, to the point where they made...
Did they do these for you in blue?
No, they did them for men in blue.
Oh.
And they did it as an exclusive at Bergdorf. And I literally called Alexander McQueen's headquarters in the UK and asked them if they could make me a pair in my size. And it took them a few months. They would go back and forth. They're like, we're seeing, and they're like, we're really sorry we don't have the product to be able to do it anymore for you. So
Darn.
I know. But I might just go
I like that. Those are classics. Those are so classic. I love those.
Classic. So I think I'm going to go the sneaker route, and I think I'm going to go with blue sneakers. But to be fair, it's a very hard decision, just so you know.
No, I know. Trust me. People can't decide.
I know. It was somewhere between that and something really a huge statement piece like those.
The boots?
The boots.
You want the boots?
I might. I mean, they kind of feel like they go with my collection of shoes though, don't they?
Yes. All right. Take the boots, and I'm going to take a Polaroid of me with holding them. I think I could see you walking into the CEO's office with those, or the investor boardroom, and you're going to be such a rock star.
I would totally wear these.
Yes. They're actually quite comfortable for you.
Yeah, they're a good heel.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, I actually ran around Coachella in them.